You know that feeling, right? You ask an AI for something important, and you get this super confident, beautifully written answer that's just completely, totally wrong. It's what we call the AI trust gap. Well, today we're going to look at a brand new approach that just might be the solution. So here's the plan. We'll start with AI's confidence problem, why it exists. Then we'll talk about the fix, making AIs work in teams. We're going to break down two new features from Microsoft that do exactly this, called critique and counsel. And then we'll wrap up by looking at why this whole idea of multimodal intelligence is such a big deal for everyone. All right, let's dive right in. The number one struggle with using AI in any serious way is this constant tug of war between how fast it is and whether we can actually trust the answers it spits out. And that really is the core issue, isn't it? AI is incredible at generating stuff, but checking its own work, not so much. The problem is it can create these amazing-looking reports that have these tiny, sneaky errors, the hallucinations we hear so much about. And when you're talking about things like legal research or medical info, that's not just a mistake, it's a massive gamble. This quote just nails it. The biggest roadblock for AI in the workplace has never been about speed or power. It's the confidence without verification. It gives you an answer like it's 100% fact, but there's nothing built in to back that up. So who's left holding the bag? We are. The human has to do all the fact-checking. So what's the fix? Well, it's a pretty big shift in how we think about AI. Instead of depending on one lone genius AI to do everything, what if we made them work together? Like a real team. And this chart lays out the difference perfectly. Over on the left, that's the old way. A single AI, working all alone, super prone to being overconfident. But on the right, that's the new multi-model idea. And look at the concepts. A team approach, built-in review, separation of duties. This sounds a lot like how we work, right? It's all about reliability, not just raw speed. Okay, so this isn't just theory. Microsoft is actually building this out with two brand new features for their Copilot Researcher tool. They're called Critique and Counsel, and their entire purpose is to solve this trust problem by forcing different AIs to collaborate. All right, let's dig into the first one, critique. Honestly, the easiest way to get this is to think of a writer and an editor. It's a classic partnership that we use everywhere to make sure work is actually good. So what critique does is split the work in two. You've got one AI, say GPT, that acts as the generator. It does the research, it writes the first draft. But, and this is the key, before you ever see that draft, a second AI, maybe something like Claude, comes in as the reviewer. Its only job is to be a tough, critical editor. So here's how that workflow actually plays out. Step 1, the generator AI, like GPT, drafts the report. It does its thing. Then, step 2, the reviewer AI, like Claude, takes that draft and goes over it with a fine-tooth comb, using a really strict checklist. Only after it passes that review does the final, much stronger report get delivered. It's basically a built-in quality check. And what's on that reviewer's checklist? Well, we're not just talking about grammar and spelling here. It's asking the tough questions. Are the sources any good? Does the report actually answer the whole question? And the big one, is every single claim backed up by solid evidence and a citation? It's literally an AI fact-checker. Okay, that all sounds fantastic on paper, but does it actually work? Does having one AI edit another really make a difference? Well, let's look at the numbers. So Microsoft put this to the test using the DRACO benchmark, which is a really tough industry standard test for research quality. Now look at this. The best single model out there scored a 50.4. Pretty good, but the researcher with the critique system, a 57.4. That's not a small improvement. That is a huge leap in quality. Let's put a number on that jump. We're talking about a performance gain of almost 14%. This is proof right here. This whole writer-editor idea isn't just some cool gimmick. It actually, measurably, makes the final result way more accurate and way more reliable. Okay, so that's critique. Now let's talk about the second feature, counsel. If critique is a writer and an editor, think of counsel as assembling a panel of different experts to get a bunch of smart opinions on the same problem. So here's how counsel works. You give it a prompt, and instead of sending it to one AI, it sends the same prompt to multiple AIs at the same time, like GPT, Claude, you name it. They each come back with their own report. And then a third judge model steps in, reads all the reports, and tells you, okay, here's where they all agree, here's where they disagree, and here's a unique point that only this one found. It's basically a moderator for your AI panel.
This table breaks it down really nicely. The main idea for critique, it's that writer and editor relationship. Its workflow is sequential. First you draft, then you review. It's perfect for when you need one single, really solid answer. Counsel, on the other hand, is the expert panel. Its workflow is parallel. Everyone works at the same time. This is what you want for those big, complex topics where there isn't one right answer and you need to see all the different angles.
Okay, so let's zoom out. Why does any of this really matter? Because what we're talking about here isn't just a couple of cool new features. This points to a massive shift in where the entire AI field is headed. The future is about orchestration, not just raw intelligence. Think about it. For the last few years, the big AI race has all been about one thing: building the biggest, smartest, most powerful, single model. It's all been about the raw intelligence of one AI. But we're kind of hitting a wall there. There's a limit to what any one model can do reliably all by itself. And that's why the new frontier is shifting to the strategic orchestration of a system of models. The winning play isn't just about having the smartest AI anymore. It's about being the best at making a whole team of AIs work together, each playing to its strengths. So, what's the bottom line here? First, AI is finally learning to question itself, which is huge. Second, this is a critical step to making AI something we can actually trust for important work. And third, this means the future AI race might not be won by the smartest single model, but by the company that builds the best overall system. And that leaves us with a pretty wild thought, doesn't it? If AI learns how to check its own work, to argue with itself, and to show you different points of view, well, the list of things we can trust it with is about to get a whole lot longer. So the real question is, what's next?